Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello and welcome to my lecture on 5 qualitative approaches in research. I'm Dr. Ayaz Muhammad Khan, Director Division of Education, Lahore. In this lecture, I'll give you an overview of the 5 approaches used in qualitative research method. You can also study all those things from John W. Creswell's book, Qualitative Inquiry and Research Design, as most of my lecture would be from this book. You know that there are 5 qualitative research designs that we have already discussed one by one, and in order to get over them, you got to go to my YouTube channel. Link is given below. So there are actually 5 types: narrative research, phenomenology, grounded theory, ethnography, and case study. We will be discussing in detail. There would be a comparative analysis, and this comparative overview would help you choose your qualitative research design among the given 5. As we know that qualitative research actually believes in subjectivity, not in objectivity. So this subjectivity you can explore among various authors of the qualitative research design. They all have given different types of qualitative approaches in different disciplines. Uh, Chronologically, if we look at Jacobs, who gave it for the first time in education, so the list was ecological psychology, holistic ethnography, cognitive anthropology, ethnography of communication, and symbolic interactionism. But in the meantime, in 1986, quite parallel to it, you would see that Munhal and Euler, in the nursing field, they were of the opinion that there are 4 types: phenomenology, grounded theory, ethnography, and historical research. Yes, historical research was once included in a qualitative paradigm, especially in nurses. Then Lenzi in 1993 gave another, you can say typology or types of qualitative approaches, and she included sociological perspective, biological perspective, and for the first time, the word case studies, along with personal accounts, cognitive studies, and historical inquiries. Then came the famous Strauss with Corbin in 1990. Uh, his discipline or field was sociology as well as nursing. So their typology was grounded theory, ethnography, phenomenology, life histories, and conversational analysis. Uh, Morse in 1994 in the field of nurses introduced these 4, where phenomenology, ethnography, ethnoscience, a new type, was introduced. Then Mustakas in psychology, you can see hermeneutics was introduced, and heuristic research was also introduced, whereas phenomenology was actually divided into transcendental phenomenology, and the other part, hermeneutics, was dealt differently. In social sciences, Dennison and Lincoln in 94 gave the typology, but in that typology, a case study was introduced, and along with ethnography, phenomenology, ethnomethodology was the new thing, interpretive practices, and biographical and historical and clinical researches. They were newly added to it. Uh, Last but not the least, if you can look at Dennison and Lincoln in 2005, who wrote the book in 1994, but in 2005 uh, they made certain changes where they brought performance, critical and public ethnography, divided ethnography into different portions, interpretivist practices, case studies, life histories, narrative authorities, and participatory action research. This was the first time when action research was introduced in the realm of qualitative approaches. So here is a list of some of the recommended keywords that you can use while writing your objective in the research. Uh, I mean, for narrative, phenomenology, grounded theory, ethnography, case study, it will help you a lot. If you decide one of these, then you got to stick to those words. They would be quite helpful for you. For narrative research, you can write narrative studies, stories, epiphanies, more religious in term, and lived experiences, chronology. These are the words that you use usually in narrative. But in phenomenology, you can use the word phenomenology, but describe, experience, meaning, essence. They are the words frequently used in phenomenology. In grounded theory, you besides using grounded theory, you use the word generate, because here you wish to generate a theory, develop, proposition, process, substantive theory. In ethnography, what you need, a very integral part of ethnography is that you go for cultural sharing group, cultural behavior and language, cultural portraits, cultural themes. They must be the keywords in your studies. For case study, you can go for case study, bounded, single or collective case study. Then you go for event, process, program, and individuals. So, how do you collect data while using these five approaches? We will discuss different questions and then see how each methodology react as to that question. Suppose data collection and analysis. What is traditionally studied, sites or individuals? In narrative study, we study individuals, singles, who are accessible and distinctive. But in phenomenology, you go for multiple. But you go for individual who have experienced that phenomenon. And in grounded theory, individuals who have responded to an action or participated in a process about the central phenomena. In ethnography, you go for members of cultural sharing groups or individual representative of the group. And in case study, it is a bounded system such as a process, an activity, an event, a program, or multiple individuals. If your question is what are typical access and rapid issues. So in narrative, gaining permission from individual, obtaining access to information in activities. In phenomenology, you would go for finding people who have experienced the phenomena. But in grounded theory, you would go for locating a homogeneous sample who knows the fundamentals of that phenomena. And in ethnography, as we have already discussed, gaining access to through the gatekeeper, gaining the confidence of the informant. Same thing we adopt in case study. Now the question is, how does one select a site or individual to study? Purposeful sampling strategies. So in narrative, several strategies depending on the person, convenience, politically important, typical, critical case. But in phenomenology, finding individuals who have experienced the phenomena, a criterion sample, we call it. But in grounded theory, we have discussed in our lecture that we go for theoretical sampling, a homogeneous sample. But for ethnography, finding a cultural group to which one is a stranger, a representative sample. Same to a very large extent to the cases, a typical case, or maximum variation, or extreme cases in our case studies. So, how would you go by what type of information typically is collected from the data? In narrative, documents and archival material, you go for open ended interviews, subject journaling, participant observation, and casual chatting with those people. But in phenomenology, you got to go for interviews from 5 to 25 people. But in grounded theory, as you have to not only generate a theory, for a theory, you need to do either a causal relationship, and number two, the important thing in the theory is that your theory should be in a mode of prediction. So for that purpose, you would go for 20 to 30 people to achieve detail in the theory. Ethnography, participant observation, interviews, artifacts and documents. In case study, you go for extensive forms such as documents, records, interviewing, observation and physical artifact. Now, if the question is how is information recorded, recording information. In narrative study, you write down notes, interview protocol. But in phenomenology, along with interviews, you often go for multiple interviews unless saturation. Same is the case in grounded theory, but here you need memoing as well. In ethnography, alongside interviews and observational protocols, you need to write down field notes. And same two things in case study as well. If the question is what are common data collection issues? So in narrative, the major issue would be, we are talking about field issues, access to material, authenticity of accounts and material. But in phenomenology, the question is how you bracket yourself, your own experiences, your own logics, which we called apoche as well. Then in grounded theory, we may have interviewing issues like logistics, openness, that you have to dig deep into the phenomena. So these are the issues. In ethnography, field issues, your reflexivity, reactivity, reciprocality, and going native. These are sort of problems. In case study, you may have interviewing and observation issues as well. How is information typically stored? In narrative, you go for field notes, computer files, but in phenomenology, transcription and computer files. Computer files are used everywhere. In grounded theory, again transcription. In ethnography, you go for field notes, transcriptions, and same thing happens in case study research. Now, question arises: how do you manage your data? In narrative, we create an organized file for data. Almost same thing we do for all other things. So far as reading memos are concerned, uh, in narrative research, we read through text, make margin notes, form initial codes. Same thing we do in phenomenology, in grounded theory, ethnography, and case study. Similarly, describing. How do you describe while you have completed your data and you are in a mode of analyzing your data? You describe the story or objectively set of experiences and places in it in a chronological order, because in narrative study, chronological order is very important. But in phenomenology, describe personal experience through apoche. I have told you earlier, and describe the exact essence of phenomena separately, in-depth essence of the phenomena. But in grounded theory, you do all those things with open codings. In ethnography, you describe social setting. What is the social setting where you are studying a particular culture? But in case study, you just describe the case and its context. How do you classify then? In narrative study, we identify story, locate epiphanies, identify contextual materials. In phenomenology, we develop significant statements and group statement into meaning units. But in grounded theory, we initially go for open coding, then axial coding, then from we go for themes and ultimately go for our theory. In ethnography, we analyze the data for themes and patterns, regularities in those themes. In case study, we go for categorical aggregation to establish themes or pattern. Now, let's talk about interpreting and representing visualizing. So, let's see first of all interpreting. Uh, in narrative, we interpret the larger meaning of the story, the individual story or the group, usually the individual story in a chronological order. But in phenomenology, we develop a textual description what happened, develop a structural description how the phenomena was experienced, and then we develop the essence. But in grounded theory, we go for number one. Initially, we have open coding, then axial coding. Now, here we go for selective coding and interrelate those codings to develop a story, develop a conditional matrix so that we may tell what are the phenomena on which those what are the pillars, sorry, not phenomena, what are the pillars on which the whole phenomena can be established and predicted in the future as well. But in ethnography, you interpret and make sense of the findings, how the culture works. In case studies, you use direct interpretation, develop naturalistic generalization. And now let's talk about representing visualizing. In narrative research, you present narration focusing on process, theories, and unique and general features of the life, because this is what all about is the life stories. And in phenomenology, you present narration, individual experiences, essence of the experiences. In grounded theory, you ultimately present a visual model or a theory. That would be the end product or the proposition. Similarly, in ethnography, you present narrative presentation augmented by table, figures, and sketches. Similarly, in case study, you present in-depth picture of the case for cases using narrative tables and figures. So, there is another sketch. As we have already discussed philosophical assumption, you have to recall 5 research designs. You can here see that if you are positivist, you go for experimental or quasi-experimental research, or either to correlation, causal comparative, survey sort of research. But if your phenomena is interpretivism, constructivism, you go for content analysis, historical studies, ethnography, narrative, phenomenological, grounded theory, and case studies, and most of the time action research. But if your paradigm is philosophically, you are pragmatic, then you would go for mixed method research design, other exploratory or explanatory research design. Dear student, here are some of the contrasting characteristics given by J.C. Creswell in his book. This chart shows you, we will look at it one by one. We would see it by its characteristics, the focus, the type of problem best suited for design, and discipline background and unit of analysis. This is very important, dear students, because when you go for interviewing or when you are in some research proposal presentation, people time and again ask you the question of unit of analysis. So let's see. First of all, the focus. In narrative research, focus is exploring the life of individual. But in phenomenology, the focus is essence of the experience. In grounded theory, focus is ultimately developing the theory grounded on the data. Ethnography, we describe and interpret cultural sharing groups. But in case studies, developing an in-depth description and analysis of case or multiple cases. If you ask a type of problem best suited for design, uh, in narrative, you need to tell stories of individual experiences, but in phenomenology, you need to tell essence of lived experiences. In grounded, you need to tell uh, theories in the views of participants, and in ethnography, you got to interpret the shared pattern of the cultural group. And in case studies, you go for providing an in-depth understanding of a particular case. If we talk about discipline background, so in narrative research, anthropology, literature, history, psychology, and sociology, uh, they are the different humanities groups. Even education is included, may be included in it. But phenomenology is purely a domain of psychology as well as education. Grounded theory has its roots as in sociology, but ethnography is mostly in sociology and ethnography, anthropology, whereas case studies they are used in political science, law, even in education as well. Now the most important one, unit of analysis. In narrative research, studying one or more individual is a unit of analysis. In phenomenology, studying several individuals that have shared the experience. So you would say several individual with the shared experience. Uh, in grounded theory, your unit of analysis is a process, action, or interaction which is involving many individuals. Similarly, in ethnography, the group sharing the same culture. And in case studies, studying an event or a program, an activity, more than one individual. Okay, let's talk about data collection forms, data analysis strategies, and written reports. So, when we go for data collection forms, narrative research usually go for using primary interviews and documents, whereas phenomenology goes for interviews with individuals and some documents and observations as well. But grounded theory interviews primarily with 20 to 60 individuals. In ethnography, our focus is primarily on observation interviews, but perhaps collecting other sources during extended time in fields as well. Similar we use in case studies where we go for interviews, observation, documents, and artifacts. So data analysis strategy in narrative we go for storing and restoring in a chronological order. But in phenomenology, we analyze data for significant statements, meaning units, textual structure, description, and description of the essence. Phenomenology and lived experiences essence is very important. In grounded theory, we go for axial coding and selective coding. In ethnography, we usually go for the description of the cultural sharing groups themes about the group. And in case studies, we go for analyzing data through description of the cases and themes of the case as well as cross case themes. So far as written report is concerned, in narrative research, we develop a narrative about the stories of an individual's life, and in phenomenology, we write a report regarding a sense of the experience. In grounded theory, we go for generating a theory in illustrated in figures as well. And in ethnography, we go for how we describe in report that how the cultural sharing groups works. And in usually case studies, we develop a detailed analysis of one or more cases. Here is a list of the journal structure of the study. You can say in narrative study, you go for introduction and then research procedure, reports of stories, individual theorizing about their lives, narrative segments, and patterns, meanings identified. In phenomenology, grounded theory, ethnography, and case study, there is little bit variation, but just get over it once and then you will come up with the things that we have already studied, in grounded theory, you go for open coding, axial coding, selecting, and then you go for theoretical proportions. But in phenomenology, exploring the essence of the phenomena, the lived experiences, is actually the major task. Dear student, here is a list of the suggested reading for narrative research, phenomenology, grounded ethnography, and case study. Uh, some of the books in the list are quite latest, and I would recommend you to go for some other books which you find are more latest. So here is a task for you. You will have to submit a similar sort of comparison for your quantitative research. Non-intervention, descriptive studies, correlation studies, predictive studies, causal comparative study surveys, and then interventional studies like experimental research design. I'm sure you have enjoyed that lecture. See you again next time. Thank you very much.